going to pretend I came up with this, but it's very fun to explain this and further my understanding of math from the beginning. So today we're going to prove why when you multiply two negatives, you get a positive. Have you ever thought about that? Why? So we're going to do some basic arithmetic and using an equal sign, which then kind of is a little bit of algebra. But again, I hope this doesn't intimidate you. It's, if anything, fun. But, I can't just be like, trust me, bro, it's fun. Long story short, I promised Professor Harrington I'd do this. So here we go. 0 plus 0 equals 0. Let's think about this. If I have nothing and I add nothing to it, what do I have? Nothing. I think that's pretty easy to remember. Now we're going to apply the distributive law, sometimes called the distributive rule, to this. Since it's an equal sign, we multiply both sides by x. So now, applying the distributive rule, we can write it as x times 0 plus x times 0. Again, we're distributing this term outside of the parentheses into both terms inside and add them. And on the other side, we're going to keep this the same. Now, because it's an equal sign, right, we can subtract in x times 0 on both sides. And as we know, if you take something, you take away that something, you get 0. So we've inherently proved that anything times 0 equals 0. Okay, so we started out with nothing plus nothing equals 0. And now through the distributive law, which is a basic law of arithmetic, we've proven that anything times 0 is 0. So now we're going to keep going along this line of thinking. If I have something and I take away that same thing, I get nothing, right? If I have this and I take away this, what do I get? Nothing. So I don't think that's too hard to understand intuitively. We're going to apply the distributive law again. Again, since it's an equal sign, we multiply both sides of the equation by the same thing. So b times this and b times this. Again, applying the distributive law, we distribute this item into the two items that are being added and add them together. So it's technically b times a, right? But we can write a times b because why? This is called the commutative law. If it's just addition or it's just multiplication, you can switch the orders. AB plus negative a times b. And of course, we could have written it b times a plus b times negative a. And we've already proven just right before this that anything times 0 is 0. So we can kind of write this right side as 0. Okay, so again, it's an equal sign. So if we subtract the AB, we have to subtract AB on this side. So notice what we just did. We just proved that negative A times B equals negative AB. And of course, we can further pull out a negative 1, but that's something I just proved in my previous video. So we don't have to do that. With these two things in mind, especially this identity we're going to use for the third part, which is now we're going to write basically the same thing, but now B instead of A. And so again, if you have B and you take away B, what do you get? Nothing, right? If you have this and then you take away this, what do you get? Nothing. So this time, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation, again, because it is an equal sign, by negative A. And what do we do on this side? I just realized I'm actually missing a parenthesis. So let me close that parenthesis real quickly for you. Look at that. I'm missing a parenthesis, right? Am I missing? Yeah, I'm missing a parenthesis. Exactly. So distributive law, we have to multiply both terms and add them together. After you distribute, you get negative A times B plus negative A times negative b. Again, you distribute the outside term into each of the terms and add them together. We just proved earlier that negative a times b is equal to negative ab. So now we substitute this negative ab into here. So in that long piece of paper, ignore this part because I was confusing people with this. Just start here again. Again, this is the substitution, right? So now we have negative ab plus negative a times negative b equals 0. And what can we do here? Again, if we are having a negative, well, we can add a positive and that becomes 0. And I purposely made it clear. I'm adding AB here, right? So 0 plus AB, nothing plus AB is just AB. So look what we have on the left side of the equation. Negative A times negative B equals positive AB. Look what we just did. We just proved it. We just proved that two numbers that are negative multiplied together is the positive of them multiplied together. Yeah, see that? It's pretty neat, right? So, first principles. Think from the beginning. And the more you understand this, the more it helps you at higher maths. Because higher maths just build from lower maths. And there's just a bunch more symbols and a bunch more steps. But the arithmetic, the understanding of how things work is still the same. So the more you understand how things work at the most basic level, the more it's going to help you at the higher levels. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep thinking first principles.